Good evening, guys. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Just give me a moment. Check audio and video. Hello. Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Yes, it's perfect. I checked our audio and video both are functioning fine. So let's start. I've kept my cell phone here. So all set for the marathon session, our second marathon session. Good. And today we will be covering what? Application of integration, definite integration. Guys, cool. So now we'll start our session. It's me. This is me, Nishant Khanduja, your mathematics teacher for IIT-JEE. I graduated and post-graduated from IIT Bombay. My rank in IIT was 1256. In the IIEEE it was 363. In Rajasthan pre-engineering test, the rank was 4. I traded in US and Canadian markets for 2 years. I also have 8 years of teaching experience. And one thing which is which is not mentioned here, but that is the truth of my life. Now what is that? Because I always wanted to teach students, those who are there in small cities, small villages, those who can't go to coaching institutes, big expensive coaching institute. They just stay there at their places, they be there in hometowns, and they try to put whatever efforts they can put to clear this sort of examination. But I know sometimes because of this financial crunch, or they are not having the proper infrastructure, they are not being able to clear the examination, and that's what hurt me the most. So when it hurts me the most, so now what I can do about it? Then I thought, I took a pledge that I would be making sure that all these students, those who are there in small cities and villages, I would be teaching them. Now how? This dream of mine, that became the reality when I associated with Unacademy. When I got associated with Unacademy, I became a part of their India's largest campaign. What is that? Track IIT-JEE. And there I'm doing my small bit, my small part. What is that part? I teach you guys mathematics for JEE. Now the thing is, I want to teach, but if you student, if you guys are not ready to be studied, then how can I teach you guys, right? So what can you guys do? What you need to do? You guys need to install, plus you need to install first Unacademy application. When you install Unacademy application, then you get two sort of options. One is your plus subscription, another one is your IIT subscription. So what do we get in the subscription? So let's talk about the benefits in this plus subscription. So when you go for plus subscription, you get to attend daily live classes. So these daily live classes are not like YouTube classes, not at all. These are the classes, these classes are being conducted on Unacademy platform. On this platform, the kind of interaction, the kind of discussions you're going to have with the educator, they can't be compared with YouTube for sure. You can answer the polls conducted by the educator. So overall, if I say, it is remarkable experience. You can't even compare the experience with YouTube classes at all. You can also attempt live tests and quizzes if you want to evaluate your preparation. If you want to check what is how good you are in a particular topic. You can also attend structured courses. when you try to attend structured courses, what happens? You gain maximum knowledge in minimum time. That's the beauty of structured courses. Now you might also say, sir, who are going to just design, or who are going to teach us these structured courses? Let me tell you, the top educators from India, be it from any city. They could be from Indore, Delhi, Kota, anywhere. If they are good, they are the best in their field, they would be here on an Unacademy platform. And apart from these three benefits, you also have unlimited access to all the recorded videos. So wherever you feel like, you can just watch these recorded videos and you feel relaxed. So what I mean to say is, like you're revising this topic later on, because right now you don't have a time. It's okay, you can do it later on. So this is the boon of this technology. So this is your plus subscription. What do you get in the Iconic subscription? So whatever we spoke about, that was all about the content. That content is there in plus subscription. Now the thing is, if with content you get proper guidance, we are making sure that you deliver the best result possible. So how can we do that? So in Iconic subscription, you get personal mentor. So this personal mentor is going to work with you for next 1 year or 2 years, depending upon your subscription package. Okay, so he would guide you, he would tell you how to appear for the examination, what is your asset, what is your shortcomings. So based on your own personality, he would tell you the best possible match which will deliver the best result. You can also have test analysis report. So that test analysis report will improve your time management in the examination. It will also tell you how you can improve your approach towards the examination, how you can reduce the negative marking, how you can increase your positive marks so that your rank improves. We also have study planner. So this study planner customizes the study according to your own need. You want to just review your process, it also reviews your process bi-weekly, checks if at all any changes are there, those changes will be incorporated in the next study plan. It's very simple. So I personally believe that if everything is here, then it is pretty much sure that you will deliver the best possible result. Okay, now let's move ahead. Now the thing is, how can you guys buy the subscription? First, install Unacademy Learning app. Once you install it, go for these options. You get 1, 6, 12, 24 months offers, subscription packages available. I suggest if you are in 11th, go for 2 years package. If you are in 12th and dropper, then go for this 1 year package. Reasons are very simple. It's very cost effective, and since it's a preparation of 2 years, you would like to have the access of the application for revision, for mock test. You want to attend all the marathon sessions, everything by these top educators, right? The cost would become for 2 years packages 56,000 rupees. For 1 year package, it would be 38,500 rupees. But if you apply my code NK001, you see the magic, and the magic would be you would be getting 10% off, and the price would become what? 34,650 rupees for 1 year subscription. For 2 years, it would become what? 50,400 rupees. Whereas for Iconic, the things would be 86,000 rupees for 2 years. For 1 year, it is what? 56,000 rupees. If you apply my code NK001, the prices would be reduced, and the prices would become 50,400 rupees for 1 year and 77,400 rupees for 2 years subscription. Okay, so wherever you feel like, just buy the subscription. But if you ask a suggestion, then I would say better you buy it now, or maybe ASAP. The reason is very simple, because if you buy the subscription as soon as possible, you will be making sure that your preparation will be better, because the more time you have for preparation, the better result you will deliver. Very simple. And one more announcement I would like to make. This is regarding the Unacademy Combat. The Unacademy Combat, the third Unacademy Combat, is going to be what? Live. You can win rewards and prizes. And when it is happening on 6th of December. How you can enroll it? Go to Unacademy application or Unacademy's website and enroll there. anyone from 11th, 12th and droppers batch, they can go for this Unacademy combat. Okay guys, so now I have Dhruv Dikshit. Hi Dhruv buddy, how are you? Dhruv says, sir, I'm in class 10th, but I have started early, so that's why I have completed IIT-JEE 11th syllabus and 12th physics. Very good buddy, yeah? Very good. Sir, can I follow your course to make my concept strong? Yes, certainly. Certainly you can follow my course to develop better understanding. Okay, so do it. Okay, so let's start. So let's start the session now. Okay, so okay guys, so this is the very first thing. So now let's talk about what is the geometrical interpretation of definite integration. If at all you guys have attended my yesterday's lecture, so you must be knowing what is the geometrical interpretation. The geometrical interpretation of your definite integration is what? It represents area under the curve, right? Let's say this is f of x and I want to calculate the area starting from, let's say, starting A to the area between x-axis and this curve, this area, and between what ordinates A and B. These A and B is what? These are called lower limits and this is called upper limits respectively. This is A, this is B, f of x, d. So that's how you represent it. Now the thing is, if I want to calculate, so this is one of the interpretations, and what do we get using our second theorem? We get what? F of b minus f of a. Now what is this f of b? So f is basically your, what it is? It is your, say it is your antiderivative of f of x. This is what? Antiderivative. This is your antiderivative. Okay. Now let's talk about this thing. Now, since we know, as we spoke about, this tells the what? The area between this graph and your x-axis. Now when you say area, what does that mean? Area is always a positive quantity, so how can it be negative? Sometimes we get your definite integrations value as negative also. Why it happens? I'll tell you the reason why it happens. Because what you are doing is, if you just look at our first principle, the basic concept, so it's a mathematical thing, it's a conceptual thing which we did while making the formulation. So while formulating it, we said that this is what? This is basically the length of the rectangle, and what it is? F of x. So when we see f of x, we are writing right now, see, when the way we are drawing the diagram, we are keeping it above the x-axis, but obviously when we put the value of x, whatever value of f of x we get, it could be positive or negative depending upon the function in that interval. Now, so this is, we consider that f of x is the length of the rectangular strip, and what is the thickness of this strip was? That was dx, right? So to calculate the area of this strip, we said f of x into dx. Now if this f of x turns out to be what? Positive, that means above the x-axis. That means if a curve is above the x-axis, then you get positive into positive, so your area comes out as positive. But if this f of x is negative below the x-axis, then negative into d of x is what? Positive. It becomes negative. So I am just sharing this concept with you guys. Reason is because when we try to calculate the area bounded by x-axis and the curve, so we have to be a bit sure about the graph, how it looks like. Is it below or above the x-axis, or it is having some values below the x-axis or above the x-axis? Because that would certainly change your answer. Now you would say how? I'll make you understand how. So always make sure when you put the limit, always make sure when you are integrating it and the question says bounded area, check whether the curve is positive or negative. So remember this. Now I'll tell you why your answer, if you don't think about, if you're not considering this fact, what happens to your answer? What sort of mistake you make? Just think. Question is, give me the area bounded by f of x and x-axis, and you are integrating. So what it is like summing up things, right? Because it is what? It is limits of summation also. We represent it like this. So when you are summing up things, so sometimes you get what? If it is above the x-axis, you get positive values, positive, positive, positive. But when it goes down, what will happen? You get negative value. But everything is being added up. So basically these positive and negative values, they cancel out each other, and eventually you get lesser value here. Lesser value than it should be, or what you should get. Correct? So this should not happen, and that's where people generally make mistake. So now the thing is, how can we sure that we are not going to make these sort of mistakes? Don't worry, I'll share that information with you guys. But before that, what we'll be studying right now, we'll be studying the application of definite integration. The very first application is what? We can calculate area under the curve. We just discussed. Second is your calculate limits of sum. Remember, we did it yesterday also. How do we do it? It's like reversal from second theorem to first principle. Now you would say how? I'll tell you. See, your integration is being represented by like this. Correct? Now this thing can be represented at, see, this is the second theorem. Now from the second theorem, we are using the concept. From the second theorem, we can say this is the second theorem. And what is your first theorem? First theorem says 1 upon n, and this is a limit, n tends to infinity, and this is what your starting from r is equal to 1 to n f of r by n. So if we can make this sort of summation, or you can say limits of sum, if we can get this sort of form, then we can easily convert this into what? Definite integration, and then we can use our second theorem to calculate the value. Why? Because see, we know the antiderivative of the function, and then we can easily calculate this limits of sum. Okay, so it's like it is going from the first principle to the second. It's just bouncing. Okay, so this is one of the applications also. So sometimes we get this sort of questions, though they seem like the questions from the limits chapter, but we find difficulty to solve them. So we can use definite integration to solve them. Okay guys, is it clear? Fine, let's move ahead. Now, as I told you that I'll be sharing the points which you need to remember while calculating the area. Now, let's talk about what all those things are. The very first thing which you need to remember is, this is very important, that always check. I always say always check. Functions, your f of x, roots, always check. In the interval. The interval, what I mean to say is your lower limit to upper limit. Always check. Because that will help you out to break the limit. Because if you will be able to break the limit, you can also calculate the right value. Now the thing is, how can we perform it? So when you get, let's say, function is like this, let's say, and it is between, this is your a and let's say this is your b. So if you are blindly integrating from a to b f of x dx, certainly your answer to calculate the area bounded by this curve and the x-axis will be wrong. Why? Because when you integrate it, you'll have negative stripes in this, positive stripes in this, negative stripes in this, positive stripes in this. So obviously they'll cancel out and you'll get lesser value. What should be the right answer? Then the right answer, right? So what to do? So once you find out the roots, let's say this is your alpha, this is your beta, and this is your gamma, and this is your, let's say, delta. Once you find out the root, now you know where your function is going to be negative. So our focus should be like this. So your area will give you lesser value than area bounded. Okay. So the area bounded will be what? Area bounded will be from a to alpha f of x, and you know your function is positive here, so let's not change it. But something which is negative, so how can we make this negative a positive thing? Either we apply a mod, or if we do not want to apply a mod, the simplest thing what we can do is we can just flip this thing. How can we flip it? We multiply with negative thing. Multiply with negative. Minus of f of x. That's it. Between beta to gamma it's positive, so let's not touch it. But from gamma to delta it is negative, so you make sure that you apply the negative sign. Okay. Then post that. Gamma to be f of x dx. Clear? Is it clear with you guys? That's what you need to do. Always remember this thing. Second thing, now let's say if you are calculating the area bounded by two functions. Bounded by two functions. Then what to do? Then in that case, what I say is, let's say this is your function number 1, f of x. Your function number 2 is, let's say, like this, g of x. Then obviously if you use your formulation, I know you would say, so first I'll calculate the area, because I need to calculate this red area, right? So what you will say, sir, first I'll calculate the area between x-axis and g of x, and then I can subtract the area between f of x and x-axis, then I'll get this red portion, right? Absolutely right. But tell me one thing, all these things you can do if you know these are the points where they're intersecting, so I'll name them A and B. So all these things, gx minus f of x into dx. Okay. Now this is only true when your g of x is above the f of x. But now tell me one thing. Sometimes it might also happen that your g of x will go below the f of x axis. Then again it will go above. Then what will you do? Then again, in that case also you will commit mistake. So again, now you might ask how to do that. So what I'm saying is, try to understand. What I'm saying is, it might happen that your g of x will go below f of x axis, then f of x will become positive. So if you see, when you're writing this g of x minus f of x, so certainly you are getting what? This is your g of x, this is your f of x. Certainly you are getting positive values here when you are performing this. But in this case, your f of x is above. So what you are doing, you are subtracting bigger value You're subtracting out bigger value from smaller value. So certainly you'll get negative value. So when you will be counting the bounded area, so you'll have again problem in that. So what to do? So again, in that case, I would say first find out the roots. That is important for you. First find out the roots of these two curves. How will you find them out? Find out the roots. Find out the roots. What will you do? F of x. This should be equal to what? G of x. You need to do this. You need to perform this. When you perform it, then you'll have roots. Let's say you got alpha here, you got beta here, and let's say gamma here. So as you know that between alpha to beta your g of x is positive. So write it up. So write first for this g of x minus f of x is correct. From alpha to beta. But from beta to gamma, it should be changed. It should be f of x minus g of x. Okay, so remember all these things. Why I'm talking about all these things? Because I want you guys to make sure that you don't commit any sort of mistakes, because I have seen people committing these mistakes. They unknowingly just integrate things. They just apply lower and upper limit and integrate blindly. They don't think about these issues and they get wrong answers. So I do not want you guys to commit mistakes. Okay. Another case could be, so area between the curves, area bounded by two curves. We did this. Yes, we can talk about this thing also. Yes, regarding your y-axis. So now, whatever we have done right now, you see, when we write this formula, what it is, we make stripes parallel to the y-axis, right? When we write this formula, in this we make stripes parallel to the y-axis and we integrate them, we add them from a to b, right? That's what we did. That's how we calculate the area. Now just imagine, if you want to calculate the area along the y-axis, what I mean to say is, then you will be making stripes parallel to the x-axis. What I mean to say is, let's say this is your curve. Now you need to calculate area between these 2 points. So let's say A and this is, and here you are making stripes along or parallel to the x-axis. Think like this. We make stripes along the x-axis like this. So how can we calculate area? So as you can see, for this stripe, for this rectangular stripe, what is the length? Length will be what? Till here, if this point is what? X comma y. So obviously your length will be what? X. What will be the width? Width will become what? dy. So the area, the integration, if you want to perform from a to b, x into dy. So how will you write x? Very simple. If f of x is equal to y, x will be what? Inverse function. F inverse y dy. Again a to b, since variable can be changed easily in definite integration, so this is f inverse x of x. Here, is it clear with you guys? Is it clear? Great. So let's move ahead. Now, yes, there is one more thing I would like to share, because that thing I discussed with other students that happened luckily. So I'll tell you, because I think that information is useful for you guys. Now tell me one thing. Can I now I want to calculate the area starting from here and bounded by, so let's say this is A and this is B. Let's say this line will be what? Y is equal to, I want to calculate the area bounded by this curve. So is what? F and YB. I want to calculate the area. Now tell me, how will you calculate this area? I want to know that. Are you going to integrate along the y-axis? Tell me, are you going to integrate along the y-axis? No, you should not. The reason is very simple, because see here we are writing f inverse x, right? Another thing is, can you write f inverse x for this case when you will be integrating with respect to, or sorry, along the y-axis? Can you do that? No. Why? I'll tell you the reason. Because see, for one value of y, for the one value of y, you're getting two values of x. So if you want to define a function, what is the basic definition? That every element should have one and only one image, right? Correct? Only one image. Now if you want to define f inverse x, you're getting what? Two images. The inverse function can't be defined. But if you want to still calculate the area, then what you can do is, since f of x is defined for you, do one thing: make the rectangle. Okay. Once you make the rectangle, calculate first calculate the area of rectangle, minus, then subtract from the area covered by this curve, under the curve. So f of x dx a2, this is 0. This is starting from 0 here in this case and going till b. So how will you find the value of b? F inverse. That's it. So remember this. Hi Adya, good evening. So this is one of the good information you should have in your pocket, because that's very important. I have seen people committing mistakes. So please don't do this. Okay? Fine. So shall we start now? Okay, let's start. Dhruv, Adya, is it clear with you guys? The concepts are clear with you guys? Whosoever is attending my class, if you guys can just give me a thumbs up, I'll move to the questions. Let's move ahead. This is a quick revision. You can just remember the, just recall the formulas. Why? Because as I told you, our second theorem of integration deals with what? Antiderivative of your f of x. So it's better you remember, recall them. Recall these formulas also. Let's recall the properties which we studied yesterday. There is one printing mistake. This is A. This is A. Okay. Here, let's move to our next set of properties. Here guys, regarding even function, odd function. Okay. And let me just highlight the important properties. This is important, this one is also important, and these two are also important. So these four properties are important. Just always remember them. Okay, so this is our very first question of today's session. So what is the question? Here in this question we have to calculate what? Limits of sum, limits of summation. So the very first thing which hits my mind is, yes, this question can be solved with definite integration. But to be solved with definite integration, what do I need to have? I have to have this sort of form. 1 upon n integration starting from r1 to n f of r by n. So this sort of form must be there. Then only you can convert this into what? Integration. Then only you can convert this into what? Definite integration. Fine. So let's find out what we can do. Now the thing is, we want to pull out n first. That n should be there in the denominator. So as you can see here, root n is there in perfect square. So if I take root n common, so root n raised to square, that will be what? N. Yes, I can take. Let's pull out n first. And oh, it is what? 4n. Okay. When I try to pull out n, so I got this. and summation starting from what r is equal to 1 to what 4n, and in numerator I have root n. Okay, fine, let's worry about it. Root r root n 3 root r by n plus 4 times. Okay, this is what we are getting. Now here we are getting r by n. Okay, this is remaining. So let's do one thing. Let's take this root n, the denominator. Now this is n tends to infinity. 1 by n summation starting from 1 to 4n. Now what do we have? 1 upon root of r by n and 3 root r by n plus 4. Perfect. Okay. Now look at this. This looks like function of r by n, right? Let's convert this into definite integration. So let's write down the lower limit first. When r is equal to 1, what is the lower limit? 0 is your lower limit. When 4n, r is 4n, then your limit will be what? 4. 1 by n will be written as dx. This will be written as 1 upon root x, 3 root x plus 4. Perfect. Right? Now integration of this is very easy. How? If we substitute, let's say this 3 root x plus 4, 3 root x plus 4, the derivative of this is available in multiplication with dx, right? So let's substitute this. This is what 3 by 2 root of x dx is equal to what? Dt. That's it. Let's write it down here. So this will be what? Integration. Now dt will be what? Your dx is what? 2 by 3. 2 by 3. Dt will be like this. 1 upon. This is root x is what your. This went with the dx is root x. This is a t. That's it. Fine. Now, if you want to integrate this, how will you integrate this? Very easy. The integration of this is what? Minus 1 by t. What are the limits? Let's change the limits here first. When you put your x as 0, the limit, your lower limit becomes what? 4. But the moment you put x as 4, 3 into 2, 6, 6 plus 4, 10. 4 to 10. So let's put the limits 2 by 3. So minus 1 by 10 plus 1 by 4. So let's take the LCM here. Let's take the LCM 20. Minus 2 plus 5 by 3. And then we have what? 3 minus 2. So we have what? 3 by 20. 2 by 3. So 3 will cancel out. So final answer is what? 1 by 10. 1 by 10 is the answer. Do we have any option? Yes, we have. C. C is the correct answer. That's it. The question is done, guys. Cool. Let's move ahead. Let's solve this question. Question is, find the area of the closed figure bounded by the curves. Curve r y is equal to root x, y is equal to root 4 minus 3x, and y is equal to 0. Now I would ask you guys that please draw these graphs. So if you are telling me that this represents a parabola and this parabola, y square is equal to x, then I would say sorry buddy, it is not representing the parabola. This is representing the part of a parabola. Now you would say how? I'll show you. See, the thing is, here when you write y square is equal to x, here you are taking any value of y. It could be positive or negative, and you are squaring it. Whereas when someone has written like this, y is equal to root x, what it says? It says that he is taking only positive value of y. I'll give you an example. What I mean to say is, see, when we have a square is equal to, let's say, 9. Fine. So when we talk about this a square, so this, when we want to find out the value of a, you guys say, sir, we will take the square root. So basically you are bringing all the possibilities out here, stating that a could be what, plus minus 3. That if you take plus 3 also, the square of that will be what, 9. So this is the main equation. This is the truth, the ultimate truth. But when someone says y is equal to root x, that person is telling you guys that had you taken the square root, it's okay. But you know what? I want to take only positive value here. I do not want to deal with negative values. That's why he has written y is equal to root x, not y is equal to minus root x. No. So when you draw this, I'll tell you how you can draw this. So the best possible way is you can square both the sides. You got y square is equal to x, fine. But only draw the part of the parabola, this parabola, which is having positive y values. Now if I draw, let's say this is what? This is the complete part of y square is equal to x. But I want to draw what? I want to draw only y is equal to root x. So what do I need to do? Wait a minute. I have to remove this negative y part. So how will I remove it? Let's say I'll remove it like this. That's it. Done. Got it? So now the remaining part will be what? Now the remaining part will be y is equal to root x. Here, same goes here also. What it is? It is y is equal to root 4 minus 3x. Now if you want to draw it, first obviously square it. You will have minus 3s common you take. So you will have x here, 4 by 3. Okay. So again it is a parabola. But again you have to take y as positive value. So you are going to draw the upper half. And its vertices are at 4 by 3 comma 0. Let's draw it. Okay, now what is the question? Let's read it. It says find the area enclosed figure bounded by the curves. So green one is curve and the red one is curve, and y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0 is what? Your x-axis. That means they need to find this area. Fine. Let's find out this area. So now the thing is, how can you find this area? Initially, when you will start, so obviously, initially till the intersection point, you have to take the green line, the green curve. So starting from 0 till the intersection point, you will use your green curve, because below the green curve you have to calculate the area. Below the green curve, not below the red curve. No, below the green curve, because this is the requirement. This is the requirement of the question. So how will you write it? Green curve is represented by y is equal to root x. That's how you will write. Plus, then post the intersection point, your thing changes. Now you have to pick what? Red curve. So below the red curve. Until when? Till 4 by 3. It becomes 4 minus 3x. Fine. Good. Now the thing is, how can you find the intersection point? It's very easy. You just solve what? You just solve for these two equations. You equate them. When you equate them, what do you get? 4 minus 3x. You square it. So x plus 3x equal to 4. X needs to be what? Needs to be equal to. So let's use different color. So guys, use different color. Let's use the blue one. So this is 1 comma 0. Okay guys, so let's calculate the area. So now this intersection point is 1, this is a 1. Let's integrate it. When you integrate this is a very easy thing, right? So how will you integrate it? X raised to 3 by 2, so 3 here, 2 here. Plus similarly for this also, how will you integrate? Again, under the under square root, what do you have? Inside a square root you have a linear term. You can integrate it very easily. Again 4 minus 3x raised to 3 by 2, 3 here, 2 here. But what is the multiple of x here? Minus 3. This will come in the denominator. That's it. Limits 0 to 1. Here in this case 1 to 4 by 3. Here. Is it clear with Is it clear with you guys? Here? Okay. Let's move ahead. When you punch the values of limits here, what do you see? When you put 1, you get what? 2 by 3. That's it. When you put 0, you get 0. Plus, now what it is twice, basically minus of twice of 9. Now put 4 by 3. The moment you put 4 by 3, it becomes 0. Minus. When you put 1, what do you get? 4 minus 3. So you get only 1. You get only 1. Here, I've taken this out and only 1. Here, let's multiply this. And this gets multiplied. So what do we have? Now we have 2 by 3 plus 2 by 9. Let's multiply with 3 numerator denominator, or you can take the LCM as 9. When you take the LCM 9, so you get what? 6 here. 6 plus 2, 8. 8 by 9 square unit will be your answer. Here, easy question. I know it's a very easy question. Okay, now let's move ahead. The question is, we have to find the area bounded by the curve y is equal to x minus 1 into x minus 2, x minus 3, lying between the ordinates x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 0. Okay, so how will you solve this question? See, when you look at the curve, this curve is what? Cubic. It is clearly seen. You can see it. Cubic. And luckily they have given you in factor forms. When someone writes a polynomial function in factor form, what does that mean? It is also giving you the roots. So someone has given you the roots directly. So let's use these roots here. So it is pretty much clear that at 1 we have root, at 2 also we have root, at 3 also we have root. Okay. Now before 1, let's check the curve. Yes, curve is negative. Let's say it is starting from some negative, went up, then again needs to meet the x-axis at 2, then again at 3, then it will continue. And we have to calculate the area between the ordinates. X is equal to 0, x is equal to 0 is your y-axis thing, and this. So if I just tell you the area which needs to be calculated is this area, and this area. This area needs to be calculated. See guys, if you are planning to integrate it blindly like this, 0 to 3 f of x dx, certainly you'll commit mistake. The reason is very simple. I told you, because here you are having what? Negative length. Here you are having positive length. When you are adding everything, so obviously your negative area, positive area, they'll cancel out with each other. Whereas we can't deal with it, because your mathematics doesn't know how we are taking it. We want the area, and for us, area is always positive. For formula doesn't know. Formula only knows f of x into dx. Now this value is varying. Had it been very fixed value, the case would have been different. But okay, fine. Now this is what, that's what the benefit of being a human being. We know everything. Maybe computer doesn't know, but we know everything. So how to solve this? So in this partition, in this area 0 to 1, it is what? Negative. So let's put, if I want to make negative thing a positive, how will I make it? Put minus sign. That's it. Done. Sorted. 1 to 2 is already positive, so let's not touch it. From 2 to 3, it's negative again. Let's multiply with negative sign. That's it. Okay. Now let's integrate it. Now this is not a cubic equation. Very simple integration, right? What sort of equation you will get? Let's multiply them for. When you multiply, you get x square minus twice of x minus 1x, so 3x and plus 2 and x minus 3. Multiply it. What do you get? X cube minus 3x square minus 3x square again plus 9 of x plus 2 of x and minus of 6. Basically we are getting this. So 0 to 1, negative of x cube minus 6x square plus of 11x minus 6x, whereas it will be positive here. So what I'll do is, for the next time I'm not going to write, I'll just integrate directly, because obviously we can save space also. So I'm integrating it quickly. So if I integrate this term, because it's already positive, so what will I get? X raised to 4 by 4 minus 6x cube by 3, so it will be what, 2, plus 11 by 2x square minus 6 of x. Limit from 1 to 2. Here it will be what, negative sign. So I'll have what, minus of x raised to 4 minus plus plus 2x cube minus 11x square by 2 plus of 6x. Limit starting from 2 to 3. I'll just change the color because that will not be readable for you guys. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's directly put the limits. So I'll put the limits here. So when I put 1 here in this, so what do I get? When I put 1, so I get minus 1 by 4 plus 2 minus 11 by 2 and plus 6. When I put 0, I get 0 only. Plus. Now when I put 2 here, what do I get? I get 16 by 4, 16 by 4, so basically 4 minus 2 into 8, 16 plus 11 by 2, I get 22 minus 6x 6, so I get 12. Okay, sorry, minus now 1 by 4 minus 2 plus 11 by 2 and minus 6 plus. Here what I'll do is I'll take negative sign out first. Okay, when I have taken negative sign out, I just need to put in this only. I have to put only 3 ka value. I'll quickly put the values here. What will I get? 81 by 4 plus, so 81 by 4 minus twice into 54 plus 11 by 2 and into 9, 99 by 2. Okay, minus 18. When I put minus here, what do I get? When I put 2 here, I get 4 minus 16 plus 22. That's it. Let's calculate them quickly. So if I solve this and this, both are same. So this will be what? This is minus 1 by half. I'll get what? Half, positive half from here. Positive half, positive half, positive 1 by 4, positive 1 by 4, and this 9. Positive 1 by 4 and 9 will be what? 9 by 4. I get 9 by 4. Negative, if I introduce negative, finally what will I get? Again 9 by 4 from here also. Plus, what it is? I'm getting 10 from here, 10 and minus 12. This is minus 12 and this is what? Again 10. Getting minus 2. Minus 2. Okay, let's come here again. If I solve this again, I am getting minus 2 from minus 12 and 10. Minus 2. Hi Varun Raj, good evening buddy, good evening. So minus 2, positive 2, positive 2, so basically minus 2 again. Now this is done. We're done with this also, we're done with this. Now we are left with this, only the last one. Fine, let's calculate this. Minus of, let's take 4 as LCM. So I'll get what? 81 here minus 54 for this, 216, right? 200 and 99, 198 minus of 18, 4 times 72. Okay Varun, you can join me on sequence and series, it's okay. So what are we getting here? So we are getting 9 from here. We are getting 9 from here. 9, positive 9, positive 9, this positive 9, positive what? 207, positive 207, and this is negative 1. So we'll get what? Minus of 9 by 4. Minus of 9 by 4, right? Minus of 9 by 4 here, and already we have 9 by 4, so 27 by 4, and minus of what? Minus of 4 we have. Let's solve it. 4, 16, 11 by 4. 11 by 4 is the correct answer. That's it. I hope you like the question. I know calculations were there, so you do not need to worry about this. See, in area under the curve, you would find the calculations because these are random curves. But the thing is, integrating those random curves are easier because they will give you very easy functions. It is just the calculation you would find some time consuming. Otherwise, it's very easy. Okay. Hope Varun is also finding it very easy. Let's move to our next question. So our next question is, if A is what? Greater than 0, and it is the value of a parameter for each of which the area of the figure bounded by these straight lines. So one straight line is given and the parabola is given to you. So area bounded by the straight line and the parabola is the greatest. This area is what? The greatest. Then we have to find the value of A raised to 4. Okay. So area is maximum and one is parabola, another one is line. So if at all they will intersect, so obviously a line will intersect a parabola. Maybe this is, let's say, positive, obviously, so it's like some sort of parabola like this. This is your negative slope line, so like this. So we will get this sort of area. This area should be what? Maximum, right? This thing should be maximum. So now, what can we do first? Let's do one thing first. Try to calculate the area under these two curves. Because once we know the area, then we can apply something to maximize it. We can use some inequalities or some sort of manipulation to find the greatest area. So to find out the area between these two curves, so what do we need to do first? We first need to find out the intersection points, because then only we can put the lower and upper limit, right? So let's do this thing. So to find the intersection point, we have to equate. So denominator will be cancelled out. So we will have x square plus twice of ax plus 3a square. A square, this will cancel out, so we'll have 2 of a square. I'll have what? X square plus this is 2ax, and this is what? Minus of ax, correct? But 3 of ax. I'll have 2a square, correct? So let's solve it, let's factorize it. When I try to factorize it, what do I get? X square plus 2ax plus ax plus twice of a square is equal to 0. Let's take x common. When I take x common, so I have what? X one factor. Another factor will be what? X plus, I can take a common. So these are the two values I'm getting. What are these two values? So x will have minus, another value will be 2a. So what it means is, so your first time they will intersect at minus 2a, second time they will intersect at minus a. Clear? Any doubts? Hope no one is having any doubts. Clear? So let's start integrating now. So integrating from minus a to minus 2a, sorry, minus 2a to minus 2a to minus a. Now you don't know if you want to draw the curve, then I would say draw the curve. But since we don't know what sort of curve, because we don't know the value of a first, right? So I would suggest let's put the mod sign, because we know these two curves are going to intersect only once. So let's put mod. When you put mod, at least it will make sure that you will get positive thing, and then we'll maximize that. Clear? So let's write down this first. A square minus ax, 1 by a square, I can take it 1 by a raised to 4, I can take it common, minus x square minus 2ax minus 3a square. Let's get this. sign. So 1 plus a raised to 4 mod. Okay, let's put let's integrate it. First, this will cancel out, so I'll have minus 2a square, minus of 2a square into minus this will become what? This will become minus of 3ax. I can write it as 3a and x square by 2. Here minus x cube by 3, and our limits will be from minus 2 to clear. I hope till here everything is clear with everyone. Right, guys? If you have any doubts, please ask. Let's not feel any sort of shame. Clear? Let's move ahead now. When we move ahead, let's put the limits here. So I'll have 1 plus a raised to 4. And when I put the limit, so what am I getting? Minus 8. The moment I put minus 8, it will become positive. So 2a cube. Again, minus 3a cube by 2. Again, positive thing. So a cube by 3. For negative case, I'll apply negative here and I'll put the bracket. So now I have got minus 2a square, and this is minus 2a. I'll have minus will become plus, so positive 4a cube, then minus 3a by 2, 3 by 2 will cancel out, so only 3 will be remaining with me. 3a, oh sorry guys, it's actually x square. Let me just erase it, because we are running out of space, so I would not like to waste it, that things would become cluttered. So it's 3a by 2, and we'll have what? 4a square, so 4a square, it will become what? 4a square, 2, so 2a square, 6a cube. Clear? Then we'll have positive of 8 by 3a. Clear? Now till here everything is clear with everyone. And this is a mod. Okay, let's solve it further again. I'll solve it here only. 1 upon a raised to 4. Solve it. 2a cube, 3a cube by 2. So we'll have what? A cube by 2 here, a cube by 2 here, and this. Let's solve it. A cube by 2 and a cube by 3. 6 here, 3 here, and then finally 2 here. So 5 by 6. Okay. 5 by 6 a cube minus. You will get what? Minus of 2a cube. Minus of 2a cube. Minus of 2, and this is what your 8 by 3. 6. So 2 by 3. Positive 2 by 3. So positive 2 by 3. A cube. Pure. Okay. Let's substitute now. Not substitute, let's calculate it. So 4 and 6, so a cube by 6, so a cube by 6 will be your answer. A cube by 6 into 1 plus a raised to 4. This is your area. This turns out to be your area. Now tell me one thing, how can you maximize this thing? So a cube by 6 times 1 plus a raised to 4. How can you maximize it? And this is a function of a. Is dependent on a. So the thing is, if I want to maximize this area and it is dependent on a, it's better I differentiate it. Correct? Let's differentiate it. When we try to differentiate, since it's what? It is fraction. So what is the fractions differentiation? The square of this 1 plus a raised to 4. And I'll not differentiate 6 because there is no point. It's a constant. So the only main thing is, it's better I focus on only this thing, the variable thing. Square. So I have to write it as it is. Then 3a square minus a cube as it is. Then I have to differentiate this 4a cube. Okay. and this should be equal to what? 0 to find the maximum point. So let's this will go to 0. So here on the right hand side, what I'll have 3a square plus thrice of a raised to 6 minus 4 times a raised to 6, and this is equal to 0. So what am I getting? I'm getting this. As I can see, I'll have this a raised to 6 is 3a square. Okay. So what am I getting? I'm getting 3a square is equal to what? A raised to 6. Oh, I can cancel. See, since it is given that a is greater than 0, so I can cancel easily a square. The moment I cancel, it becomes what? A raised to 4. A raised to 4. A raised to 4 is what? A raised to 4 is 3. So the correct answer here would be what? 3. A raised to 4 is 3. Clear? It's a very good question because that is having your application of derivative as well as application of definite integration. This is a very good question. It is having two chapters, application of derivative as well as application of definite integration. I hope you must have liked this question also. Okay, so let's move ahead. Let's solve other question. What is the other question? Oh, so in this question, what they have given you is they have given you a curve. That curve is being represented in two parts. One part is between 0 to 1 and another part is from 1 to 3. Okay. Then we have to find the area lying between the curves and the x-axis. So let's do one thing first. Sketch. When I try to sketch it, so this first curve, again see this curve is clearly written y is equal to root of something. That means someone wants you to take only positive values of y. That means above the x-axis. So if you write it like this, y is equal to root of 4 minus x square. You can square it, so you'll have y square is equal to 4 minus x. Okay, so it's like a circle, but only positive, only above the x-axis. This is the part, and it is starting from 0 until going till at 1. What is the value it will have? It will have root 3. Let's start from 1 to 3. What is this curve? It is y, again positive value, root 3x. Basically, if you see, it is what? Parabola. It is a parabola. Fine. And value at 1 is what? Root 3. So the same value it will start, but it will have a different curve. So we have to calculate the area lying between the curve, okay, between the curve and the x-axis. Okay, between this, fine. We have to calculate the area between the curve and the x-axis, like this. This is the area required. Oh, in this question, if you see, there is nothing new. The only thing which is new for you is two curves. Two curves are being given to you. That's it. Let's calculate the area. So again, as you can see, till here, till this point, till their meeting point, the limit is what? The upper limit will be 1, and here the function starting from 0 to 1, function will be what? Root of 4 minus x square. 0 to 1 3x plus 1 to 3, what will be the function? Root 3x. Fine. Let's integrate it. When we try to integrate it, what it is, it's a standard function. What is the formula? X by 2 root of 4 minus x square plus a square by 2. So 2 sine inverse x by a. What is x? What is a here? 2. Limits 0 to 1. What it is again an easy thing. Root 3. What is the integration of root x? X raised to 3 by 2. 3. X raised to 3 by 2, and 3 will here 2. Limits 1, 2, 3. Let's put the limit now. When you put 1, what do you get? You get 1 by 2, get root 3. Fine. Plus 2 sine inverse 1 by 2. So 2 into 5 by 6. We have 0. For 0, this is 0, this is 0. And we have plus 2. Sorry guys, my pen tablet. Give me a moment. I'll clear what. Okay. So it is what? 2 by, just give me a moment. Something happened to my it's so 2 root 3 by 3. I have taken this constant as common, so when I apply 3 here, so it becomes what, 3 root 3 minus 1, 2 root what, 1. Fine. So let's calculate this now. So it is what, root 3 by 2 plus pi by 3 plus 3 will cancel out. So what do I have? I have 2 into, so it is 2 root 3 by 3. 3 root 3, right? So 3 will cancel out, so root 3. So root 3 into 3, so it will be what, 6. Fine. Minus 2 root 3 by, this will be your final answer. That's it. Done. Cool. Fine. Let's move to our next question. So this is one of the questions. Okay, so let's read it. What this question says. It says, find the area of the figure bounded by the parabolas. There are two sort of parabolas and we have to find the area bounded by these two parabolas. So let's sketch it first. When you try to sketch it, what sort of parabolas you'll get? Obviously it will be towards negative x-axis. Vertex will be what, origin only. This is what, x is equal to what, minus 2y square. Let's draw this one. First find out the vertex. 1 minus x, so this will be written as y square. I guess there's some problem with the, just give me a moment, let me just fix it. So it is what, 3y square equal to 3 will be there, so 1 by 3 minus x minus. So it is clear to us now the vertex is what, this 1, 0. Okay, again it is also heading towards negative x-axis. Fine. Sorry guys, let me just check my pen tablet first. Okay, so now again it is having face towards the negative x-axis. So when it is having face towards the negative x-axis, so obviously it will intersect this, the other parabola. Let's find out where exactly it intersects. Find out. So what to do to find the intersection point? We need to equate these two curves. So let's equate them. So 1 minus 3y square is equal to minus 2y square. So we'll have what? This will go here. So we'll have 1 is equal to what? Y square only. So y will be what? Plus minus 1. See, here y square is equal to 1. So that means y could be plus minus 1. It's not like that y is equal to root 1. So y is equal to root 1 will be 1 only. But what we have done is, it's a different thing. So this is the point I was trying to make you understand. Okay? See here. y1. So here 1. And this is your. Now tell me one thing, how would you like to solve this question? Along the x-axis or along the y-axis? Tell me. We can solve it both ways, but obviously we have to make some sort of arrangement. Why I am telling you guys? Because see, if you try to solve this question along the x-axis, what will happen with you is, as you know, for any value of x, you will get what? 2 values of y. Correct? In that case, your function will not be defined and you will commit mistakes. Okay? So it's better you decide. If you want to calculate along the x-axis, you can do it. But if you go ahead along the y-axis, it will become an easy ride. So don't worry, I'll show you both the ways, because I want you guys to be aware about both the approaches, because it might happen that you might get these sort of cases where it becomes difficult for you to calculate, but at least you should know. So let's say if you go along the y-axis, as you can see, your strip is the same, right? And it is towards the x, right? And for one value of y, you are getting only, for one value of y, you are getting what? Exactly what? One value of, tell me, one value of x, right? Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Correct. So for one value of y, you are getting what? One value of x only. Correct. So let's move ahead. So basically, your function is defined in this. So for that, what do we do? The integration, if you want to calculate, so x into what? Dy. Limits will start from here, where they are intersecting, starting from -1 to 1, -1 to 1. Oh, fine. So now, as we can see, that there are two curves, and we have to calculate what the bounded area. So now to calculate the bounded area, what do we need to do? Tell me. We simply needs to subtract the curve. Now, which one is above? As you can see, the second curve is above. So let's subtract it. Let's do one thing. You know what I'll do? First, I'll solve this question here. You're using your y-axis approach. So along the y-axis, I am solving it. Let's solve it. Okay. So here, integration from -1 to 1, we'll have 1 minus 3y square minus 2y square. So it will become positive. So 2y square dy. So integration -1 to 1 minus y square. Oh, as you can see, we can use definite integrations property. What it is? Minus a to a. Let's check whether the function is even or odd. It is even function. So that means it will be what? Twice of 0 to 1. Let's integrate it now. By twice of integration of this will be what? Y minus y cube by 0 to 1. 2. 1 minus 1 by 3. Then 0. So what it is? It is 2 by 3. 4 by 3. So 4 by 3 square unit is the answer, which we calculated very peaceful. Now the thing is, if you want to calculate this along the x-axis, now the things which you need to remember, since as we know that one thing is pretty much clear, that it is not defined. It is not, function is, your function is not defined when you try to write it like this, because for every value of x you are getting what? Two values of y, two values of images, right? So what we can do is, as we can see looking at the geometry, that it is symmetric about the x-axis, right? Half of the portion is up, half of the portion is down, right? So what we can do is, let's do one thing. Let's make it one proper function and start calculating above portion, and then we'll twice it. Fine. So if I want to make it a proper function, so this above part will be written as like this. So minus x by 2 root. This will be what? Y is equal to root minus x by 2. Clear? Is it clear with you guys? Hope this is clear with everyone. Great. Now let's move to this one. How will I write this function as? So for this, I will be writing it like 1 minus x by 3. Only the positive value I'm taking, only the positive thing. Okay, same thing here also. I'm only taking the positive. So this minus x by 2, this is inside the root. Okay, here. Now, tell me what will be the area if you want to calculate the area above the x-axis. So how will you write it? How will you formulate it? This is what I mean to say. That's our approach number 2. This is our approach number 1, which we did, and that was very easy approach. Approach number 2 is slightly difficult, but again we can do it keeping all the precautions. So how can we do it? So as you can see, till here, till your y-axis, we can integrate the difference of these two functions. So basically from the intersection point. Now what is this intersection point? To find that out, let's put y is equal to 1. When I put y is equal to 1, so point is minus 2. So from minus 2 to 0, my above function minus lower function. So above function is what? 1 minus x by 3 minus x. Here. Then post that, as you can see, post that it is the area between the second curve and your x-axis. Yes or no? Yes. Addition 0 to where? Till 1. Second curve. So 1 minus x by. Let's integrate these two integrations now. So when I try to integrate, oh, this is a linear term. So first 1 by root 3, I'll take it as constant out. So how will I integrate it now? 1 minus x, 3 by 2, denominator what, n plus 1, so 3 by 2, 3 here, 2 here. But here the coefficient of x is what? Minus 1. So let's multiply with minus here. Let's put the limit from minus 2 to 0. Fine. Minus, let's integrate this now. When I try to integrate this, again 1 by root 2 is common. Fine. And now 1 by root 2 is common. Now I'll integrate this. So integration will be what? Minus of x 3 by 2, limits will be what? 3 and 2 will be here. And as the coefficient of x is what? Minus 1. So minus 1 will be there. And limits from minus 2 to 0. Okay. For the third one, 2 minus root 3 into 3, 1 minus x, 3 by 2, and the limits will be from 0 to 1. Fine. Let's put the limits. When I put the limits here, so it is what? Minus 2 3 root 3. When I put 0, it is only 1. Okay, fine. When I put minus 2, what do I get? It is 1 plus 2, 3 root 3. Just give me a moment, I forgot to put a sign. This. Okay, so minus 2 by 3 root 3 here. When I put 0, when I put minus 2, so minus 2 by 3 root 3, and this is 3 root 3. Okay, then minus sign. Let's put the limits here again. When I put 0, oh, it became 0 again. Let's not touch it. Then minus is already there. Then minus is there. So it will become what? Positive. Because when you put 0, upper limit, it is already 0. But for lower limit, already minus comes for the lower limit. Minus f of a. So minus is there and this minus already there. So it became positive. So 2 upon root 2, 3. And minus 2. So minus 2, it becomes what? 2 root 2. Fine. Here. Now plus, let's put 1. The moment you put 1, it becomes 0. But the moment you put 0, what do we get? We get 2 upon root 3 and into 1. Positive. Okay, fine. Let's solve it further. So as we can see, this root 2 will cancel out. We'll have what? 4 by 3 here. And from here, it is what? Root 3 will cancel out. We'll have minus 2 by... Okay. As you can see, first and the last term, this is and this is, they are cancelled out. This is plus 1, this is negative 1. So what we are having right now is, we are having only 4 by 3. one term, two. Correct. Twice of 3 root 3. This cancel out with this, correct? And this is minus of 2. Yes, this is what? Minus positive of 2. Okay, see, this is what? This is cancelled out. So minus minus, it will become 2. Here minus. Root 2 cancel out, it becomes 4. So minus 4 by 3. That's what we are getting. This is minus 4 by 3 and this is 2. Minus and minus 2. It will become 2. So what we are getting finally? 6, 2 by 3. So this 2 by 3 square unit is the area of what? This is the area of the upper half. If you are including the second one also, the lower, it needs to be what? Twice. The final area will become what? 4 by 3 square units. And that's what you are getting. 4 by 3. Clear? So I shared the second approach with you guys also because I wanted you guys to know how to solve these sort of questions if you get difficult ones. Difficult functions where you can't move along y-axis also. The only option is x-axis. Okay? Because sometimes it might happen that you would not find the roots. Might be the difficulty. But you should know. Okay. As you can see, in this question, we used whatever constraint, whatever cases I spoke about. Whatever cases I spoke about in the beginning, the things to be remembered when you are finding the area. We did everything here. We applied everything here. Okay, fine. Let's move ahead. This is our next question. Okay. So in this question, there is a problem with the language. This is not the common area. This is the bounded area. So let's read the question. Prove that the area bounded to ellipse. This is your ellipse. This is a comma 0 and this is your 0 comma. And its auxiliary circle. So its auxiliary circle will be like this. Okay. And this will be what? 0 comma b. So 0 comma a. So the area, the bounded area to ellipse and auxiliary circle will be what? This area. Correct? So how to calculate this area? Very easy. What is the area of auxiliary circle? Pi a square minus what is the area of ellipse? Pi ab. But it is pi of a is common, a minus b. This is the area. Fine. Now this area is equal to what? This area is equal to another ellipse of semi-axis. Semi-axis a and a minus b. Okay. Let's make another ellipse which is having semi-major axis a comma 0 and minor is what? A minus b. Like this. So area of ellipse is what? Pi into semi-major axis into semi-minor axis. And as you can see, this is what? This is equal to what we did. Clear? I hope this is a very easy question. They might give you this sort of question sometimes in objective. Clear? Let's move ahead. Let's solve next question. So here comes the next question. Read it. It says find the area bounded by y is equal to log ex, comma y is equal to minus log ex, y is equal to log ex minus x, and y is equal to minus log e minus x. Tell me, how would you like to approach this question? Any idea? Who all are there in the class? Dhruv, Adya, Varun, or someone new who has joined us lately? If you are there, please let us know. Okay, fine. Let's move ahead. So when I just see this question, the very first thing which comes to my mind is, let's draw the diagram because I don't know what sort of area I'll get. When I draw the diagram. So the very first function is what? Y is equal to log ex. If I draw it, this sort of drawing I. So for second one, it is what? The main function minus. Basically, it is, in this case, the function has been flipped. This is your original curve. Y is equal to log ex. This is your standard curve. Now standard curve has been flipped because the moment they have applied minus. Hi Pratiksha Wagmare. Hi Pratiksha, how are you? Yes, it's Unacademy. Now this is your flip of the standard curve. So that means y is equal to minus of log of ex. Fine. Now let's draw this one. Y is equal to log e minus x. So when someone applies minus to your input, what happens? Your negative x-axis starts working like a positive x-axis. Now that's what I shared this information with people, those who did functions with me. So now this function will look like this, like the standard function, but everything will be same on the negative x-axis. What was there on positive x-axis. Here in this case, it is negative of this curve. Basically, we have to flip it. Let's flip it. When we flip it, and so we get this one. Curve. Oh, I'm Pratiksha. Okay, Siddhant. Okay, Siddhant. Hi, Siddhant, buddy. Hi, Siddhant. How are you? Okay, fine. So we have to calculate the area bounded by these four curves. So basically, we have to calculate this area. Now, let me tell you one thing. So obviously, these two things will meet at infinity. Now, the thing is, tell me, how would you like to calculate this area? As you can see, using the symmetry, this area is symmetric about x and y axis, correct? So what we can do is, let's do one thing. Let's calculate this part's area. Only this part's area, and we'll just multiply with 4. We get the total area. See? We will get the total area, correct? True. So let's integrate it. Now, what is this curve? This curve is minus of log of x. So let's integrate this. From where to where? From 0 to here 1, where when it is intersecting at the x-axis. So 0 to 1 minus of log of ex dx. Minus. What is the integration of log ex? X log ex minus x, right? This is the integration. Let's apply the limit from 0 to 1, correct? Now, when you apply 1 into log 1, 0, minus 1, minus, let's apply 0. When you put 0 here, what do you get? 0 into log of 0. 0 into infinity. What will be the value of this? What will be the value of this? Tell me. Hi Siddhant, tell me this value. If you say it is going to be 0, thinking 0 into something is 0. No, don't do this. Better you solve the limit x tends to 0, x into log ex. This is indeterminate form. Solve it. So when you see it, it is what? 0 into infinity form. First, let's make it like either 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity form. So now it is infinity by infinity form. Fine. We can use what? We can use L'Hopital rule. If you use L'Hopital rule to solve this limit, what we'll have? 1 by x upon minus 1 by x. But x will cancel out. So finally, if we apply the limit, what we'll get? We'll get 0. So the value of this will be what? 0. So 0 minus 0. The final answer is what? 1 square unit. So this 1 square unit is what? This is for only this portion. Similar portion, we have 4 portions. The final answer for this bounded area will be what? 4 square unit. This will be the final answer. Clear? Siddhant, is it clear with you? Siddhant or anyone who is there in the class, if you're understanding it, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, fine. Let's move ahead. Now this is our question. The next question is, we have to sketch and find the area bounded by the curve, this curve, and x square plus y square is equal to a square. So sketching this curve is a bit difficult, but yes, drawing this curve is very easy. So let's draw this first. This is a circle having origin or having center at the origin. Radius a comma 0. Let's talk about this. How can we draw this? As it is pretty much clear that this curve is going to be there in all the 4 quadrants. Why? Because they have put mod x, mod y sign inside the square root. You can take any values. So that means for all quadrants, you can draw it. So your root, this will be what? Root a minus root. If I square it, what do I get? Mod of y is equal to what? A plus mod x minus twice of a mod. So this is what we'll get. Again, drawing this is very difficult. What sort of form? What we can do is we can just use hidden trial and we can find out a few points, and then we can join those points and find the tentative sketch. So let's check whether we'll get y is 0. If I put x as a, so I'll get y as 0. So that means here. Similarly, when will I get x as 0? If I put y as root y as a, so that means here. So it is pretty much clear that this function is going to be between like this. Another thing is, this function, is it going to be above the circle or below the circle? How would we know? You can take any point between 0 to a. Take any point between 0 to a and check its values. So when I let's take a by 2, x a by 2. Let's check the value of this function at a by 2. Hi Pratisha, sir मुझे 9th and 10th का सब्सक्रिप्शन लेना है, लूँ क्या? Yes Pratisha, yes Siddhant, you can certainly buy the subscription for 9th and 10th, and it's very useful. I'm telling you, you would be getting good marks in the examination, and apart from that, you can also prepare for the some competitive examinations. But yes, one thing, if you apply my code, you would get 10% off. So you can use my code NK001. I'm telling you, you can apply this code NK001. It will help you a lot. You get 10% off. Okay, Siddhant, is it cool? Do you have any other doubts? Fine, let's move ahead. Let's check at x as a by 2. When you use this x as a by 2, what you can do is you can just put the values here and try finding the values of y. So what you see is, you see root a minus root a by 2. This is the value of this function, y. You can square it. When you square it, what will you get? You will get what? A plus 3a by 2, 3a by 2 minus 2 root a. Okay, this is the value you will get. Whereas if you check it for circle, what do you get? For circle, you get y as a square minus root 3 by 2a. This is what you get. Certainly, this value is way more. This value is more than this value. Easily. Correct? A 3a, a by 2, so 3a by 2 minus 2a, and this is what? A by 2. So we'll have what? A by root 2. a by root 2. We'll have this value. So certainly this value is way more than this. 3a by 2 minus a by root 2. Here, that means this would be somewhere below the circle. So let's say if we join these points, we'll have this sort of graph. For this also, second also, for third also, we'll have this sort of thing. Now the thing is, one more observation I would like to share with you guys is, sometimes it might happen that you will not be able to draw the graph the way we are doing it here. So what you can do is, if you are not sure about whether which curve is going to be above or below, you can just apply mod sign. Apply mod sign and integrate. What I meant to say is, apply mod sign and integrate. Your lower limit to upper limit, your g of x minus mod dx. Integrate it. Automatically it will make what? Positive thing. What Siddhant says, sir, मुझे ज़्यादा discount नहीं मिल सकता. Siddhant, this is the maximum discount you can get. इससे ज़्यादा discount आपको नहीं मिल पाएगा. ठीक है? पर हाँ याद रखना कि आप NK001 कोड को जरूर अप्लाई करो. और मैं एक और चीज बताता हूँ कि 9th और 10th ये जो है आपके लिए बहुत ज्यादा बेनिफिशियल होने वाला है. क्यों? क्योंकि आप यहाँ पर टेस्ट सीरीज कर सकते हो, एडुकेटर के साथ पूछ सकते हो, बातें कर सकते हो, उनसे डिस्कशन कर सकते हो. अदरवाइज क्या होता है कि हम लोग पूछ नहीं पाते, और फिर कई बार क्या होता है कि हमें एक टीचर का तो समझ में आ रहा होता है बट दूसरे टीचर का समझ में नहीं आता. Here you have multiple teachers. जिसका समझ में नहीं आया इट्स ओके, दूसरे टीचर की जाके क्लास अटेंड कर लो. तो एजुकेशन ना आपको समझ में आएगा, ये 100% श्योर है. ये कभी नहीं बोल पा सकते आप कि मेरे को मेरा टीचर अच्छा नहीं मिला. समझ रहे हो? ठीक है? ओके सिद्धार्थ. So let's come back to our question. So what I was telling you guys, if you are not being sure about the curve, which curve is going to be above and which curve is going to be below, then what you can do is you can just apply mod sign on their subtraction and just solve the question. Get positive answer. Good. Don't worry. So in this case, luckily we found. So what we have to find? We have to find this area, this area, this area, and this area. That's what you need to do. Fine. Now the thing is, as you can see, since it's a symmetric curve, so it's better I calculate only one portion and then I can just multiply with 4. Sorted. So let's calculate it. So 4 times integration starting from 0 to a, and then y, how will I write y for the circle? It will be what? A square minus x square minus, how will I write y for this? For this it will be a plus x minus 2 root a here. So it will be what? Minus here, and it will be what? Plus and your dx here. Let's integrate this. 4 is common. Integration for this is standard. Let's write the formula. What is the formula for this? Is x by 2 root a square minus x square minus plus a square by 2 sine inverse x by a minus ax minus x square by 2 here plus 2 root a common. Integration of your root x. How will you integrate it? Tell me. Very easy. X raised to 3 by 2, and you have 3 here, 2 here, so 2 by 3. That's it. Limit from 0 to a. That's it. Let's solve it. 4. Let's put a. The moment you put a, it becomes, the entire thing becomes 0 plus a square by 2 sine inverse x by a. So a cancel out, you'll have what? Pi by 2. Here, I hope this is clear with everyone. Minus a square minus, you'll have what? A square by 2. Here, Then finally you'll have 2 root 2 3 a raised to 2 root 2 root a, sorry, 2 2, so basically you have 2 2, basically 4 4, and this is not root 2, it is root a actually, root a into a raised to 3 by 2, and if you put 0 0 0 0 0, everything will be 0. Okay, fine. So let's calculate the area. 4 into what it is, this is 3a square by 2, 3 by 2 a square. You calculate this, what do you get? 4 by 3 a square. Let's calculate this part. What it is? It is 3 by 2 minus of 3 by 2 plus 4 by 3. That's it. So if you solve it, we can take 6 as LCM. So I'll have what, minus 9 here, and I'll have what? I'll have 2, 8 here. Minus of 1 by 6. So final answer will be what? A square into 5 by 4 minus a square by 6. Let's multiply with 4. So I have a square pi minus 2 by 3 a square units. This is your final answer. That's it. Right? Simple question. Not difficult. Cool. Can we move to our next question then? Fine. Let's move to our next question. Here comes our next question. Okay guys, so what I'll do is, in this question I'll draw the diagram for you guys, but I would request you guys to solve this question at your home. Okay, so look at this. It says find the area bounded by the curves. What it is a parabola. It is also a parabola, and this is a straight line, and line right to x is equal to 1. Okay, check this. It says find the area bounded by the curves. So let's draw this curve first. So let's find out its vertex. So where will it be? Minus b by 2a. So minus 6 upon minus 2, 3. So at 3, what will be the value? Minus 9 plus 18. So positive 9 and 4. So basically this. And 1 and 5. 1 and 5 are the roots. Like this, we'll have this sort of parabola. Okay. Now for this, let's check vertex minus b by 2a. So minus 4 upon minus 2. So we'll have 2. Vertex will be at 2. This is 1 and this is 5. And what will be the value? Minus 4, minus 4, 8, minus 4 and 8, 1. Somewhere here. And roots will be at 1 and 3. Like this. So this will be like this sort of parabola you will see. Now, these are the two parabolas. Now let's check this. Y is equal to 3x minus 15. This is a positive slope line. Minus 15 is the slope. The y-axis, and this is the minus 15 is the slope. Starting from here, passing at, it is becoming y as 0 at 5. That means it is passing from here only. This point only. From your first quadratic equations root. Like this. Fine. Now you have to calculate the area, which is right to x is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1 is this. Right to this is anything, that means this area. You have to calculate this area bounded by these parabolas and this straight line. Now the thing is, how will you find this out? Very easy. First, find out the intersection point of line and this second parabola. To find out the intersection, you have to equate. So 3x minus 15 is equal to what? Minus x square plus 4x minus 3. You will have x square minus of x and minus of 12 is equal to 0. When you solve it, what do you get? X minus 4 and x plus 3. Basically, obviously, this will be the equation. So this will be the final answer. So x will be equal to 4. Why? Because we have to calculate on the right. The right of x is equal to 1. So our root. So this point will be what? X is equal to 4. Here. Now while calculating the area, how will you write the equation? You will say first you have to calculate this in two parts. How? First, between this first parabola and second parabola. So starting from 1 to 4, you will be writing like this: minus x square plus 6x minus 5 minus plus minus 4x plus 3. Here, am I clear, guys? First, second is starting from 4 to 5, but here your first parabola, but first parabola minus line. Here, because now this is the area between these two curves. Minus x square plus 6x minus 5 minus of 3x plus 15. Very easy equations. Polynomial equation is written, polynomial function is there, so you can easily integrate this. So I would request you guys to solve it at your home. Okay, so this is like a homework. You can solve it. Okay, this is also one of the good questions. Let's read it. What question says? Question says find a continuous function where this function is between these two functions, x square, x raised to 4 minus 4x square, and 2x square minus x cube. So this function is between these two functions, such that the area bounded by your function and your x raised to 4 minus 4x square and the y-axis and line x is equal to t, where t is what? Between 0 to 2, is what? K times the area bounded by your curve f of x and 2x square minus x cube, y-axis and line. Then we have to find the continuous function. Hang on, first I'll just draw the tentative information what they have given first. Let's draw that information. This is first curve. Okay, fine. Let's say this is your first curve, like this. Now your f of x is more than this, so that means above this. Fine. Let's draw it. Let's say like this. Then above f of x, what do you have? You have another curve, 2x square minus x cube. Let's draw it like this. Okay, now what the question says is the area bounded by f of x and this between y-axis, so y-axis this, and the line x is equal to t, and t is what? Lesser than 2. 2 is here. T could be somewhere here between. So basically it says that it is talking about, I'll just use a different color so that you will understand also. It's a yellow one. Okay. What it says is that this area, this yellow area, what basically, this area is k times this area is k times the area between your 2x square minus x cube and f of x. Give me a moment. Yes. I'll just change the color for you. I'll use blue one. So it will go till here up this way. So if I want to, so your yellow one is 4 times the blue one. So if I want to write this in mathematical form, so tell me, how will I write it? So I'll be writing it like this: 0 to t f of x minus x raised to 4 plus 4x square dx, and this is what? This is equal to k times 0 to t. Now above, what is the function which is above? This 2x square minus x cube minus f of x dx. Now, there are two approaches to solve this question. So I'll share first. I'll share one. Okay, first I'll share the first approach. So this approach is what? I'll take f of x to left hand side. 0 to t. I have 1 plus k times f of x dx. The right hand side will be 0 to t. K times 2x square minus k times x cube plus x square minus 4x square dx. Since 1 plus k is a constant, so my integration from 0 to t f of x dx 1 upon k plus 1 integration. I can integration 0 to t. I can take x square common, so it becomes what? X square minus kx plus I take x, it becomes for 2k minus dx. Now if I compare both the sides, I can say that yes, my f of x will be what? 1 upon k plus 1 x square minus kx plus 2k minus 4, right? But here is one information I would like to share with you guys is, like, see, the definite integration of two different functions could be equal. Why? Because it's a constant value. So constant value can be equal, right? So what I mean to say is, if we integrate sine x from let's say from, I have to keep the same limit, right? Right now I can't think of an example, but what I mean to say is that two functions definite integration can have same value. That doesn't mean that function will be equal. Okay, that doesn't mean that function will be equal. But in this case, what we did is we didn't integrate actually. We didn't integrate. We were just comparing it. So in that case, obviously we can have the same. Okay. So this is one limitation I would like to share with you guys. And this is a limitation. Please remember when you plan to do this sort of question, some sort of limitation, you have to always make sure that you should not integrate. Otherwise, definite integration of two different functions can be equal very easily. So if this approaches with limitation, which we should not just use everywhere, so which approach we can just just rely upon. So I'll tell you the approach you can rely upon. The approach is, let's say, approach number 2. You can use your Leibniz theorem. What is that Leibniz theorem? You can this thing you can directly differentiate. Try differentiating. So when you try differentiating both the sides, what you get is f of t. F of t minus 4x square plus 8x is equal to k times sorry t. My bad, that's my mistake, let me just correct it. Guys. So what is our Leibniz rule? You just put your variable in the function which needs to be integrated. T raised to 4 plus 4 again 4t square. This is equal to what? K times 2t square minus t cube minus f of t. Fine. Now what we can do is we can take this is k multiplied to everything. Now what we can do is we'll take f of t terms to one side. So what I'll have 1 plus k here. This is equal to what? T raised to 4 minus 4t square positive 2kt square minus kt2. So what will be ft? My function will be 1 upon k plus 1 I can take a t square common, t square minus 2k, this is positive, so 2k minus 4 minus kt. This is the answer, the same answer you are getting here. This approach is acceptable. Everywhere you can use this approach. But for this approach, the first approach, I'm telling you the limitation. Here, the limitation is we didn't integrate. Otherwise, we could have committed a mistake. Guys, because if you know, we have this sort of many applications, many properties in integration, that same limits and your f of x integration of same limits f of x dx is equal to what? 0 to a f of a minus x dx. You have many limits like many properties like this. Okay, so this limitation is there, so always keep this in mind. Okay, now we have some questions from JEE. Fine. So now I give you guys, let's say 60 seconds to solve this question. Okay, solve it. Come on guys, solve it. Solve it guys, come on. Okay, so tell me, how will you approach this question? The question says that the area bounded by the curves y is equal to f of x, the x-axis, and the ordinates x is equal to 1 and x is equal to b. So basically, you have parallel lines to y-axis like this 1 and b. Is what b minus 1 sine 3b plus 4. What it says is, there is a function like this, f of x, with the x-axis, let's say some sort of function like this, f of x, and the area bounded by this and the x-axis, and the ordinate x is equal to 1, x is equal to b. What this is turning out to be a function of what? B, like this, b minus 1 of b plus 4. Then we have to find the area. Now tell me, how will you find the area? The way we solved our earlier question. So let's differentiate. When you differentiate, what do you get? F of b. And b's differentiation with respect to b is what? 1. And when we try to differentiate this, so what do I get? 1 sine of 3b plus 4. And when I differentiate this, so b minus 1, b cos of 3b plus 4. That's it. That's it. That's your final answer. Let's check which option do we have like this. Yes, C option. So C is your correct answer. Yes, Mithilesh, hi, how are you? You joined us late, but it's okay. So we are just solving some previous year IIT questions, so you can just also solve them. Hi, IIT aspirant. IIT aspirant says, sir, how is IIT-B? But IIT-B is like a heaven. Why? I'll tell you. So it is there in Metro City. You have all the facilities there, and it's not there in outskirts. It's exactly in the middle of Bombay. So all the facilities are there, and no rush, no pollution, nothing. Because the kind of greenery you see there, it's amazing. And the environment here, the extracurricular activities are also good. It's a good. It is really worth it. Really worth it. But okay. So before going there, but what I want from you is, you better study well. I'm there to teach you guys, so you better study well. For that, what you need to do is to practice hard. So let's be with me. Let's come with me and solve this question. What is the question? This question came in 2009 and it's a more than one answer correct question. So the question says, we have to find the area of the region bounded by the curve y is equal to e raised to x and lines x is equal to 0 and y is equal to. So how will you solve it? First, draw the diagram. The curve is like this, and line x is equal to 0. So line x is equal to 0 is basically your y-axis, and y is equal to e. So like this sort of line. This is e, and this is what 0, 1, and what this one. So we have to find this area. Now tell me one thing. So how would you like to find this area? Better you integrate along the y-axis. So if you want to integrate along the y-axis, how do we need to integrate? X into dy starting from 1 to e. So right, this function is what? Y is equal to e raised to x. X will be what? Ln y. So let's write it there, 1 to e ln y dy. So which option is correct? E is correct. Now the thing is, we have to mark other options also. Check B option also. Using our definite integrations property, I can say that ln b plus a, so your e plus 1 minus y dy will also be the correct answer. So B is the correct answer. Fine. Now this answer is written in terms of x. Let's check this answer also. So if I want to calculate the area and I need to integrate with respect to x, so how can I calculate? Yes, I can calculate. I can make a rectangle like this. So rectangle's area minus the area under the curve. Will give me the desired area, right? So rectangular's area is what? E into this is E, height is what? E, and this is what? This is your 1. So E into 1, your E minus integration starting from 0 to 1 e raised to x dx. Check. Yes, C is also correct. C is also correct. Now A option says the exact value. So let's calculate the exact value also. Let's calculate this only. E minus integration of e raised to x is this same, 0 to 1. When you apply 1 here, e raised to e, this will minus, so 1. Final answer is what? 1. Obviously A is not the correct answer. So correct answers are B, C and D. Okay. Correct answers are what? B, C and D. I hope you got the question. I'm telling you, in IIT you get very easy questions. Very easy questions. But it just, you need to be thorough with your properties, calculation, your processes, right? Because sometimes they might give you what? Tricky questions. And you can see, this question was tricky, but it was very easy as in less time consuming. It was slightly tricky, but less time consuming. And that's what it happens in IIT also. Let's solve this question. I give you guys 60 seconds to solve this question. Come on, solve it. Come on, guys. Okay, so time's up. So how will you solve this question? So how do you approach this question? The question says this is what? This is a parabola. Values of m for which the area of the region bounded by the curve, this is the curve, y is equal to x minus x square. So the roots are going to be what? 0 and 1. So let's, and concave downward. Let's parabola first. And then there is a straight line, y is equal to mx. Okay, fine. And the area bounded by is what? Equal to 9 by 2. Let's do one thing, it's very simple. So as we can see that this curve is on above, so fine, let's write it down here, starting from 0 to intersection point. Now how will you find the intersection point? The mx is equal to x minus x square. So that's how we will find the intersection point. We have to equate both the y's. X will cancel out because one root we already know. So your x will be what? 1 minus m. This will be your one of the roots. So let's integrate now. So y minus, so your x minus x square minus mx of x. Fine. Integrate now. When I try integrating it, I get what? X square by 2 plus mx square by 2 minus x cube by 0 from 1. And this is what? This is equal to what? 9 by 2. And now this is the area given, 9 by 2. So it might be possible, because the kind of area they have given, so this area could be positive or negative also, because we are not sure about whether your line will be above or your parabola will be above. Are you getting it? We are not sure about it. So let's do one thing, let's put mod here. So 9 by 2. Now obviously this boundary area can be negative, positive, and that's why they have put, see, that's why we have to put mod also. So when we apply the limits, so what are we getting? So 1 minus m is already common. We getting 1 minus square minus what? 1 minus m cube by 3 plus minus 9 by 2. Fine. Solve this part. So 6 is the LCM, so you get 3. 1 minus m cube is equal to what? Plus minus 9 by 2. 2 will cancel out. I'll have 3 here. What do I get? 1 minus m cube is equal to what? Plus minus 27. When I take positive 27, so what? So positive 27, so my 1 minus m becomes what? Becomes 3. When I take negative 1 minus, this becomes 1. Let's do one thing, let's solve this. So here we got what? M as minus 2, and from here what do we got? M as 1 plus 3. So basically two answers are there, B and D. So these are the two answers, right? Easy questions? I know, yes, these are easy questions. Let's solve another question. IT aspirant Mithilesh, what's up? Shall we solve another question? Let's solve. Yes, this I really like this question. The question is, if f of x is a quadratic polynomial, what? Quadratic polynomial, and a, b, c are 3 real and distinct numbers satisfying this. Basically 3 simultaneous equations are being given to you for a, b, c. Okay, given f of x cuts the x-axis at a. Okay, so your function which is unknown to us right now, that cuts the x-axis at a. Fine. So basically at a it has got a root. V is the point of maxima. Okay, so V is the point of maxima. Fine. So that means f dash x becomes 0 here. If AB is a chord, any that means general chord, which subtends a right angle at V, okay, fine. Then find curve f of x and area bounded by the chord AB and curve f of x. So I think it's vaguely clear with us, right? So let's solve it. So let's see these 3 simultaneous equations. When I see these 3 simultaneous equations, what I get, 4a square f of minus 1 plus 4a f of 1, then f of 2 equal to what? 3a square plus 3a. Similarly, I'll get another equation, 4b square of minus 1 square f of minus 1 plus 4b f of 1 plus 4c square f of 1 of 2 plus f of 3b square plus 3b 3c square plus 3c. 3c square plus 3c. Clear? Now, if you want to solve, so what do you see? Because obviously the values are unknown here. F of 1's value is unknown, f of minus 1's value is unknown, f of 2 value is unknown. So what we can do is, as we can see, it's a quadratic, correct? So let's compare the quadratic's coefficient. So what do I see is that f of minus 1 is what? It's turning out to be 3, correct? Similarly, your f of 1. F of 1 is what? F of 1 is your 4a. Okay. So if you compare it, so what are you getting it? Sorry guys. F of minus 1 is what? 4a square. Hang on. So I made a mistake. So a square's coefficient, if I compare, so what do I compare? I compare 4 times f of minus 1 is what? This is 3. Similarly, f of 1 is what? F of 1 is also 4 times f of 1 is what? 3. So f of minus 1 and f of 1 both are having the same value, and what it is? It is 3. And luckily, f of 2 is what? 0. Is given to us. F of 2 is 0. So that means what? F of 2 is 0. So that means 2 is one of the roots. Correct? This is one of the roots. Okay? It could be your A point also. We'll talk about it. Just hang on. See, the question says your f of x is a quadratic polynomial. So let's assume a general quadratic polynomial. Let's see what sort of polynomial we get. Like this. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's check the values at minus 1. First, when we check it at minus 1, we're getting what? 3 by 4. When I put minus 1, so I get A, B, and C as it is. 3 by 4 again. I put 1 also, so A plus B plus C. When I put 2, I get 0. So 0 is equal to what? 4 times A plus 2 times C. When I solve this, what do I get is, I add, so 3 by 2 twice of A and twice of C. Twice of A and twice of C. Fine, so it will be what? 3 by 4 A plus C. Here, A plus C is what? 3 by 4. Now if I put A plus C's value here in my first equation, what do I see? So my B will be what? B has to be 0. Right? B has to be 0. If B is 0, so now what is my equation? A plus C is equal to 3 by 4 and this equation. Okay, fine. Let's solve these two equations. Remaining these two equations. 4A plus C is 0. A plus C is 0. Let's subtract. When we subtract, what do I get? A is equal to minus 3 by 4. My A turns out to be what? My A is minus. Here. A is minus 1 by 4, then C will be what? A is minus 1 by 4, so C needs to be 1. 1 is 1. What is the quadratic equation you are getting finally? My function is your f of x. Find out is. Find the f of x. We found out the f of x now. The function is what? A is what? X square by. Correct? Then what do we have? Your B is 0 plus C. Plus C plus C, we have 1 here. Okay, so now we found the function. Okay, so we have someone new. Pratham Vajpayee, sir, I'm in 11th and I have completed my physics and organic chemistry, and my future plan is to complete maths and physical chemistry in next 6 months. Okay, am I going in right path, please? But yeah, you can easily complete your physical chemistry and maths in next 6 months. But I would give you one suggestion. When you are doing your maths and chemistry, your physical chemistry next 6 months, make sure you are going to revise your physics and organic chemistry. Because otherwise what would happen, because I have seen many cases like this, people focus on one thing, then they keep forgetting what they have studied earlier. So this should not happen with you. So better you have, let's say, 1 or 2 days, let's say weekends. Let's say in a week you can have 2 days where you can just revise your physics and organic chemistry, and rest of the 5 days you continue with your maths and physical chemistry. Okay, cool, Pratham. So please follow this. Let's not be one of those who forgets what he left behind, what he leaves behind. Okay, so this is your actual function. Now what the question says, as you look at this question, it's pretty clear. If you draw the diagram also, it is y is equal to what? Y minus 1 is equal to what? Minus here, and x squared by 4 minus 4 times minus x squared. So this curve is this is concave downward curve having vertex at 0 and having vertex at 0, 1. Doing like this. Okay, buddy. Like this. Okay, it is meeting this point at 2. Okay, so this is your 2, 0. Another point is where? Another point is your here. So maximum point here V is here, which is your what? 0, 0, 1. Now let's read the constraint. The constraint V is the point of maxima, which we can see clearly. AB is any chord which subtends a right angle at B. AB is any chord. Find the curve f of x. So this point. This point is what? This point will be, if it is 2, 0, so this needs to be minus 2, 0. Okay, fine. So now using, let's say we can take any of these points like this. Now from this point, let's say a chord is going, let's say this is A point, this is a B. Now we have to draw a chord in such a manner that this should be what? This should be a 90 degree. This should be a 90 degree. It's a brilliant question because that is having your coordinate geometry also. Now tell me guys, how will you find this point? How will you find this point? Tell me. Very easy, I'll tell you. I'll share the information with you. So what you can do is, since you already know this point and you know minus 2, 0, correct? What is the slope? What is the slope for this? It is what? 0, 1, correct? So this is your 1 and this is your 2. Here, this is your 1 and this is your 2. So if I want to calculate the slope will be what? Your tan theta, what? 1 by 2. Okay. Now you have to find a line. You have to find a line which is having what? This is 90 degree. 90 degree and passing from 0, 1. Passing from what? 0, 1. So what you can do? You can do is because you need to find B point, right? Why don't we use parabola's properties? We can solve parabola's properties also. Right. So general, you can write the general point here as well. You can easily calculate. We can use parabola's property, but let's say if you don't know parabola's property, then I would suggest let's do it this way. If you don't remember, because I have seen many people, those who don't remember conic sections properties. Okay, so let's move ahead. What I can do here is, so this is here 1, 0, 1. So line passing from 0, 1 and having slope, let's say m. line's equation will be what? Y is equal to y minus 1 m. So this will be the line. Let's find out the slope for this line. To find out the slope for this line will be what? The angle between this line and this line. So since we have assumed our slope is this, so m1, so 1 by 2 minus m upon. No. The slope will be, since the 90-degree slope is there. So what will be the slope? m1 into m2 is what? Minus 1. The slope for this line, passing from the vertex and passing from B and B will be what? Minus 2. Line slope will be what? Minus 2. So we'll have what? Y is equal to 1 minus 2x. So this will be your line. Just check where this line is intersecting your parabola. Just check. Let me check this line where it is intersecting a parabola. So I'll just equate this. I equate this. So what do I get? 1 minus x squared by 4. 1 will cancel out, and since I have to x is equal to 0. Yes, x is equal to 0, I can cancel out because I can see it is intersecting there. Minus minus, yes, it will cancel out. So as I can see, it will intersect at x is equal to 8. X is equal to 8, the point, and if I see y there, then minus of 50. Using this also, if I check, so 64 and 16, yes, correct. Minus 50, so this will be the point. So AB's equation will be what? AB's equation will be y minus 0 minus 0, have minus 15 here. This will be what? X minus b plus 2 and this is 8. Okay, this is 10 times and this is 15. We'll have minus 3 and this is 2. We'll have what? 2 of y is what? Minus 3x and minus of 6. Clear? This is the equation of your line. Now what you need to do? You simply need to what? You simply need to do the integration. What is the curve? Which one is the curve? Above. The above curve is your parabola. So let's write it down. 1 minus x square by 4. Here minus this curve. So how will you write this? It will be plus, so plus of 3x plus 6 by 2, and this is your d of x. Correct? Start from where? You will start from minus 2 to where? Minus 2 to your last point 8. That's it. Okay. Now this is a very easy integration, correct? Don't you think it's a very easy integration now? Now you can solve this part at home wherever you feel like. I just wanted to tell you the working of this question. I hope you guys have understood this question really well. But if you have any doubt, you can still ask me. Okay? You can easily calculate this. Now do you want me to solve more questions for you? Tell me guys. Now let's talk about the other questions which I can give you as homework. It's again one of the very easy question. There are two parabolas given and the area bounded by these parabolas, that is 1 square unit, and you have to find the value of A. Okay, easy question. Cool. Let's go to our next question then. This is our next question. Here the area bounded by the parabolas, again two parabolas are being given to you and there is one line y is equal to 1 by 4 and you have to calculate the area bounded by. Okay, so how will you do it? First sketch the diagram and then find their intersection point and then finally draw this y is equal to 1 by 4 and find out the common area. Here, any doubt? I hope you guys are not having any sort of doubt now. Let's move ahead. Yeah, this question we already did. And yes, I just want to thank Cengage book. Thanks a lot, Cengage book, because I took many questions from your book. Thanks a lot. And I would like to inform you guys regarding my fun day series. So I conduct a fun day series. I conduct a fun day series where I conduct this fun day series on Unacademy application. This series is there on Unacademy application. You install it, and this series is free of cost. What? Free of cost. You can just come and experience the platform there. The brilliant platform we have at Unacademy. So free classes. The free classes you can come and attend. So tentatively, I'm going to organize definite integration quiz, which I covered yesterday. I did one marathon session on definite integration, so you guys can come there and solve questions and check your preparation, how well you are performing, and if at all any practice is required more, you can just practice more and again appear for the same, guys. You can come, but before that, what you need to do, first come to Unacademy application, install it, and then follow me there. This is my name, Nishant Khanduja. You can find me, or maybe in the description. In the description of this video also, my profile link is given to you guys. So you can just go down and follow my profile there. Clear? Once you do that, you can you'll get notified for all the videos I create. Okay? And that's it. This is our little ritual. So if you have liked my video, I request you to just like the video, subscribe this Let's Crack JEE in English channel, so that you will get notification for all the videos are being put up on this channel. And if you had hit bell icon button, you get the notification whenever I'll come online. If you have planned that yes, you would like to join the Unacademy Plus or Iconic subscription, then apply my code NK001. What would you get? You would get 10% off. What? 10% off. Clear? Okay guys, if you have any question, you can ask me before I leave. I'm still here, let's say for a minute. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay? So I'll take your leave, then take care and study well. If you have any doubts, you can always ask me. Bye bye. Good night.